Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. Today I'm going to show you a super sweet card using this new Over the Moon stamp set. I love this and I think it is great for just general cards that are really going to brighten somebody's day. We're going to talk a little bit about where do I get my ideas? Where does my inspiration come from? Because I have some great tips for you. We're going to flip the camera around and get started. The first thing I'm going to do here is show you all my cardstock layers. So if you would like to make this card, you can always find all the dimensions, the ingredient list on my blog right here. I have got a Whisper White envelope and I've got a scrap of white cardstock in here. This isn't good cardstock, it's my throwaway stuff, I call it. So I just need a scrap of cardstock and I'll show you what that's for in a minute. Then my card base is 8.5 by 5.5 and it's basic black. I'm just going to fold that in half. And I see I've got black marker on my finger too. Jeez, I'm always a mess. Then I've got a scrap of basic black, a piece of Whisper White that's 4 by 5.25. This is our inside layer. A piece of the beautiful Bird Ballad Designer Series paper. This is 3/4 by 5.25. Another piece of Whisper White that is 3 3/4 by 3. This is 3.5 by 3 3/4. And another piece of that gorgeous Bird Ballad Designer Series paper that is 3 3/4 by 5.25. Now, I wanted to show you this Bird Ballad paper in case this is the first time you've watched me or you missed it when I showed it to you previously. This paper is absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous florals, feathers, pretty designs. And all of the paper coordinates with itself. It's all double-sided. You get two 12 by 12 sheets of each design. Isn't that just gorgeous? The other neat thing I like about Stampin' Up's designer paper is on the back label, it tells you all the Stampin' Up colors that are used in the paper. So it makes it easy for you to create. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a second. So the first thing that I did when I looked at my Over the Moon stamp set, and this is how I design a lot. This is kind of my go-to technique for designing new cards, is I thought, what stamp set do we currently have that maybe is perhaps a little bit like this one? Maybe just it's line art, okay, which this is, you color it in, or perhaps the size of the images, or perhaps the type of image. Is it elegant? Is it fun and cutesy? So that's kind of how I think about the images when I start deciding what to design. So I went back to this is my old catalog. It just retired. And I started paging through it and I came to this Postcard Pals. Now this stamp set is retired. It's not one that I owned. It is adorable. But I thought the images are about the same size as the Over the Moon cows, right? And I thought it was really fitting, being from Wisconsin, that we do a cow card today because we have lots of cows here. So that's how I started and that's how I got my inspiration. Then I went out to Pinterest and I looked up a whole bunch of cards using the Postcard Pals retired stamp set to get my design idea for this one. This is the paper that I chose. This is the Bird Ballad paper and I wanted a diagonal stripe versus a straight up and down or a cross stripe. So all I did was I took my paper and I cut it so that I could get a piece of diagonal paper out of here. Now you may not care, but it was important to me. So chop it up. You can get more paper. We have lots of it. Okay, let's get going with our card here. I am going to, first of all, do my stamping. Now this layer is going to go right on the Designer Series paper, and you have to make sure that you don't have it this way, but that you have it the tall way. We're going to use our Memento ink pad and this super cute little cow. I have a friend that needs a Get Well card right now. And I also have a friend that I haven't heard from in a long time, and I thought this would be a cute card to create for her and send to her. Now, once we have this done, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Blend markers. And let me tell you what I've got here. I've got Old Olive. I've got Petal Pink, Daffodil Delight, whoops, Calypso Coral, a Color Lifter, and the Basic Black. Now, how did I choose all of these colors? I chose the colors based on the stripes that are in my designer series paper, because of course I know that if I continue those colors, my card is going to go together really well. So we've got Calypso Coral, Basic Black, Old Olive, Petal Pink, and that's what I drew in for my colors on this card. First thing I'm going to do here is color up my cow, and I think I'm going to maybe fast forward my camera so that this doesn't take so much time out of your day. You've watched me color before. I'm shading with the darker color. Well, maybe I'm not going to be able to because I can't shut my mouth. I'm going to yak, yak, yak. I like to do my shading with the darker color here. This is Calypso Coral. And then I'm going to come in with the lighter color and blend. Now, I know this is really hard to see in the camera. You might be watching on your iPad or your phone and it's really tiny, but trust me when I say that shading the petals on this flower are really worth it. While you may not be able to see it because of how small the image is in your device, it really adds a very beautiful artistic flair. Now I'm coming in with the dark Daffodil Delight. I always like to use my dark colors first, and then I come in and blend with my light colors. And that works well for me. The other thing I wanted to do was I wanted my stem on my flower to be a little green. So I just added a line of that. Here comes, again, this is Old Olive. These are the colors in the Bird Ballad Designer Series paper. Dark first and then the light, and I'm just going to keep coloring it until it blends so it doesn't look so stark in contrast to the light and the dark. Okay, now black is a tricky thing to use in Stampin' Blend, so I'm going to go through and color the parts of my cow black that need to be black. And what happens when you do that, if there's any detail lines inside of the black areas that I've colored, you kind of lose them, right? And that makes me a little sad. Like on the hoofs, we have the little line in the hoofs that differentiate between the two toes, I guess you would call them. I don't know. Fun fact about me, when I was a kid, I lived on a farm. And while my family didn't own dairy cattle, we rented out the barn, and a family did have dairy cattle in there. And it was my job, whoops, it was my job to water those cows, and the watering cups didn't work. And do you know how much water a dairy cow can drink? Like pails and pails and pails of water. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I've got my color lifter, and I'm coming back in and I'm lifting some color off some of the detail. There's lines in the tail, there's lines in the hoofs, and I just lifted some of that very, very black off so you can still see those details. Now with the black one, I'm going to do this with my color lifter just to make sure that there's no black left on that tip. All right, and I see that I completely forgot to finish my boots down here, so I've got the lighter Calypso Coral. And I like to just do the outside so I can stay inside the line first. And you see how stark the dark is to the light? Just keep blending it. These alcohol markers, they're called Stampin' Blends. We have a whole bunch of them. Just keep blending it and they will make you look like a complete artist with your coloring. It's just so, so pretty. All right, last but not least is the Petal Pink here. Oops. I'm going to go around with the dark, and I'm just going to outline my cow's mug here. And then a little bit in the ears. And here comes the lighter of the Petal Pink. I want those nostrils to stay white, so I'm going to be careful about those. And now I'm just going to blend, and that's going to all come together. Delicious. How's my cow look, you guys? Isn't he just the cutest, or she? Whatever. Okay, so now we're going to take this panel. I'm using liquid glue here, and we're going to adhere this. My glue's not coming out very good. We're going to adhere this just kind of right over to the side of my designer series paper. Just like this. Okay, we are ready to put this on the front of our card. Just like this. Okay, make sure I have this straight here. Then I've got this scrap of basic black, and I'm going to take my embossing buddy, and we're going to use some Versamark ink. Where did my greeting go? I know it's here someplace because I used it. Oh, how's it going? Isn't that cute? How's it going? Oh, did I do this yet? Make sure you use your embossing buddy before you stamp. I'm using Versamark ink. We're going to close that up. I'm going to bring in my white embossing powder. And we're just going to dust that over. Perfect, right? And then I'm going to get out my old decrepit heat tool. I don't know where my new one is. I've lost it in my office here someplace. It's not shocking because, believe me, you guys, it is a complete disaster in here right now. And I'm sure most of you can relate. I envy those that can keep their stamp studios beautiful and pristine and looking all organized, because I'm not one of them. Okay, this is my old heat gun. Old. The tip fell off of it when I dropped it one time, but it still works, so there's no reason to fret. But we do have a new heat tool. It's got 2 settings on it. The new one does. It's pretty nice. Now I'm going to bring in my classic label punch. Remember, I put these labels on the end of it so I can remember what the heck they're called. I had to look at it. I'm not going to lie. And we're going to punch this out. And add some mini dimensionals to the back. Now I have 2 of these cards made as soon as I get this one done, which is really cool. And I'm going to show you the other one because I didn't add, it's a little bit different. So just hang tight here. Here comes the How's It Going. Isn't that sweet? I think this is just cute. I love these little puns. Is that straight? Nope, it's a little crooked. Don't push that down all the way until you get it straight. It's kind of the trickiest thing about card making, isn't it? All right, let me close this up. Now I'm going to bring in some of our basic adhesive sequins. Oh no, these are our, what are they called? Gingham Gala adhesive back sequins. I was really excited that these made it into the new catalog because you can still get them. So I decided to use some of the iridescent and the yellow. There's also purple and green. Beautiful, beautiful little sequins. And I just had somebody recently ask me, what is the spatula end for on the Take Your Pick tool? Well, this is a perfect example. I'm just going to pick up these little flowers and add them to my card with the spatula end. So you can really use it for whatever you would like, but this is a good way to use it. I'm going to grab another one here. Aren't these flowers cute? And then one more right kind of down here. Oh, one thing I forgot to do, so hang tight, let me get this, is I need some ground under my cow. And I decided to use Old Olive, the lighter of the 2. And I'm just going to go around these boots very carefully so I don't screw this all up now. You don't want to mess it up at this point, right? There we go. Our little cow is standing on some green. You could keep blending this so you don't have any scribble marks in it. That's what I really love about these markers. Okay, that looks better. Now for the inside, we're going to take that 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. You guys have seen me do this a lot. I love adding a little strip of the designer series paper on the inside of my card just to carry the design through to when it's opened. I don't think the party should end when somebody opens a card. We need more party going on inside, and this will certainly fit the bill. And let's see here. There we go. Isn't that cute? Now, one more thing I wanted to show you. Remember the envelope and this piece of paper. So this is just a scratch piece of cardstock. I'm going to slide it in because we're going to stamp another cow right here on the envelope. Okay? And if you plan on coloring your cow with the Stampin' Right markers, you don't want it bleeding through to the back of your envelope because that would be very unattractive. So I'm going to color up this cow, and I'm going to do this eyeball first because the black kind of covers up the little half circle for the eyeball. But once you bring in your color lifter, I can see that eyeball again, right? So that's what this is for. It's just a really neat way to lift that color off so that you don't cover up all the detail with the black marker or just darker markers in general. I'm going to do the same thing to the little hooves because they have all this detail in them. And here's another spot right here. Isn't he cute? I love him. Oops. Darker petal pink. Oops, let's do the ears right away too. Oh, I missed a black spot. See this right here? Another little black spot for our cow. And the hair, for Pete's sakes. I'm a little preoccupied. My husband just got out of the shower, and I think we are going to be going as soon as I get done with this video. So I'm like, oh, I hope he doesn't come in here and come on, hurry up. But he hasn't yet. He knows. He knows I'm busy. His father was taken to the hospital yesterday for a possible stroke. We're not really sure. So we're going to a couple towns away to, be there in just a little bit. Now I'm using the lifter on the hooves again because I want to see the detail. I want to see that little toe mark. And you can if you lift that color off. Don't forget the tail too. And I'm just going to do a little bit in the hair because, well, why not? Super cute, right? Okay, now you can take this out. See what we would have gotten on our envelope. We don't want that to happen. You like how I just, yeah, that's what my office looks like, you guys. Here is our super sweet little cow. And, oh, I'm noticing here that my eyeball is not showing up real good. So let me just take a little bit more color off of that. There we go. I'm going to pull a little color off of this one just to make it uniform. I don't know why I'm so picky, but I am. Here's our cute little card. Now I'll show you the other one that I made, and I've already got an envelope ready to go with that one. And this one uses the stripes up and down. So that certainly works also. What do you guys think? Which one do you like better? Diagonal stripes or stripes straight up and down? Leave me a comment either on my blog or later when I put this on Facebook or on YouTube. Let me know. This is the cutest little stamp set ever. I am absolutely in love with it. This was part of the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator pre-order, so you're going to find lots of samples using this little cutie patootie. And it's good for any type of card. I'm sending one as a get well and one as a, hey, I miss you, we need to get together. And I think that's a great, because I need to go to lunch. Yeah. Can you tell I'm a little hungry right now too? All right, you guys, if you would like to get your hands on the Bird Ballad Designer Series paper, the Over the Moon stamp set, or any of the other products I've shown you today, you can hop right on my blog, www.astampabove.com. You're going to find in that right-hand column is an online ordering button. Use this host code if your order's under $150. If it's over $150, don't use the code. Stampin' Up! Will give you rewards. I want you to have those. If you do not have a copy of this current catalog and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please get in touch with me. My email address is right here, kelly@astampabove.com. I would be happy to be your demonstrator and earn your business and send you this fantastic catalog. This is actually one of the best idea books on the market, and it's just our catalog. That's how cool Stampin' Up! Is. Okay, you guys, click right up here. That'll take you over to my blog. Don't forget to click down here to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Click on that bell to get notifications of future videos coming out. And I want to thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend it with me. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.